Hi, this is Dr. Enjoy. Are you tired of all the stress, trauma, mental illness, drugs, toxic relationships, money worries, identity crisis, gender dysphoria, grief, loss, purposelessness? Wouldn't it be great to have something to help guide you through all of this stress? Well, look no further. Purchase your Enjoyno, Nurturing Authentic Living. This isn't your ordinary journal. It's a 7-in-1 therapy companion that covers 5 crucial health areas: mental, physical, financial, aspirational, and social health, plus 2 core foundations: resilience and empowerment, crafted using my innovative Inspire Joy method. This book packs 300 pages filled with journal prompts, therapeutic worksheets, 100 positive affirmations, self care tips, and action steps, all designed to help you unlock your path to less stress and more joy. Head to Amazon today to purchase your Enjoyno for just $39.08. One way you can get through all the stress without mess is to order your copy of the Enjoyno. My first publication has gone live today. It is the Enjoyno, Nurturing Authentic Living. It is not just your typical journal, but it is your Enjoyno, designed and crafted specifically for you to elevate your joy, which is why it's called Enjoyno. Welcome to Journey to Joy Live, a podcast to promote wellness, resilience, and joy while providing mental health awareness and breaking down the stigma of mental illness in the Black community. I'm your host, Dr. Enjoy, and today I bring to you episode 59, Adulting Unfiltered, Navigating Through the Mess Without Stress. Because we all know that there's a lot of mess that we have to navigate and there's a lot of stress. So when it comes to adulting, it can be very difficult, whether you are 18 and you are just becoming an adult and you're realizing, oh my goodness, there's a lot of things I need to be responsible. Or if you're getting into your 30s and you're out of college and out of training and you're getting that real job finally, or you're getting that real job in your early 20s, whenever that might be. Or you might be going through what we call a midlife crisis and you're experiencing some difficulty with adulting and you feel like, why can't I do this well? I should be good at adulting. I'm 40, I'm 50. What's going on? So it really doesn't matter what age you are. It can be really difficult to get through adulting. So that's what I'm talking about here today, but I have some exciting news because one way you can get through all the stress without mess is to order your copy of the Enjoyno. My first publication has gone live today. It is the Enjoyno, Nurturing Authentic Living. It is not just your typical journal, but it is your Enjoyno, designed and crafted specifically for you to elevate your joy, which is why it's called Enjoyno. And I developed a method called the Inspire Joy method, which will help you to be able to elevate the 5 crucial areas of your health. I've talked about it before in the previous episodes: your mental health, your physical health, your financial health, your aspirational health, your aspirations, your purpose, and then your social health. Those are 5 crucial areas of your health, because when one falters, it seems like every other part of your day and of your life is just your joy is just gone, basically. Think about it. You could be doing physically well, you could be doing financially well, and you could be just living in your dreams and just doing great and mentally well. Just all those are doing great. But as soon as you get in an argument with your spouse or something happens with a relationship with a child, then it's just like, oh, where's my joy? But I'm doing well financially. I'm doing well with all these other things. Hey, that's because we have to boost and take care of all of those areas of our life: our physical, our mental, our financial, our aspirational, and our social. So that is a part of adulting, being able to balance and manage all the areas of our lives. And how can we do that? Through resilience and empowerment as well. And so that's what the Inspire Joy method is all about. Inspire. It stands for integrity, The I in inspire is our integrity, which makes up our mental health, emotional health, our spiritual health, and getting past those traumas. And then the N is nurture, our physical health, getting good sleep, eating well, and exercising and making sure you're going to your doctor's visits and keeping up with your medication, all those things that relate to your physical health. So that's I and N. And then there's the S for stability. That's your financial health and making sure you're taking care of budgeting and being responsible when it comes to what's going in your account and what's going out of your account. So that's the INS, and the P is purpose. We all have a purpose. And a lot of times we don't take the time to actually reflect and understand what is our purpose in life. Because once you know that and you just rocking it out, you feeling good, life is good. And then that second I is intimacy. That's our social health, our ability to connect to our communities, our ability to have strong relationships, because we know that relationships can be toxic sometimes. So we got to work through those and have healthy relationships as well. So those are the five crucial in the inspire. But what's the R and the E? That's the resilience and the empowerment. You have to be able to have that resilience, bounce back from adversity, bounce back from trauma, bounce back from all the pain and stress that you go through on a daily basis, because there's that happens, right? And then the empowerment is the having the ability to make those decisions, to have those boundaries, to say no, have those boundaries, to be able to make the decisions that align with who you are and your purpose. So that's what the Enjoyno is all about: nurturing authentic living. Be your authentic self. Are you your authentic self? Are you able to do that? Head over to Amazon, type in Enjoyno 3908. That is how much it costs for you to elevate your joy. Yes, that is my plug for my own book, my first book. And we're also talking about adulting. So, like I said, adulting, you have to have the balance to be able to do all these things. Really, when it comes to adulting, it's finances. Finances are like the number one thing, right? Because that's a lot of the things that you're not dealing with when you're a kid. You're not handling bills, you're not handling taxes, you're not usually having an income. Maybe you work at well, I worked at KFC when I was a teenager. So, but what did I buy? I wasn't paying bills with that. Mm, I didn't even have a cell phone, right? Not back when I was in high school. I don't even remember what I did with my money. I actually don't know. I was in the marching band. I probably paid for like a uniform, maybe. I don't know. My mom could probably know. But the point is that when it comes to adulting, it's the finances that are the main thing that causes stress for us. So it's a matter of, well, first of all, for our kids to have an easy transition into adulthood, into adulting, we got to get our kids into trainings and workshops and camps that gets them understanding finances. Because I'm a doctor, and they don't teach us that stuff about 1099s and uh, retirements and all those things you have to deal with. So that's what makes adulting hard. It's a matter of educating yourself. We put our 13-year-old in a 2-day camp at the Federal Reserve downtown Atlanta, and he learned a lot. And we're also very transparent with him when it comes to what we're doing with our expenses, or if we have issues with bills and things like that, not to the point where he stresses, but we teach him and educate him so that hopefully when he gets to that point, that transition from being an adult, from being a kid to adulting, hopefully will be easier. But it's a matter of educating yourself and being able to study and plan financially for your future and plan, short term. Like, what are you spending? What's going in and out of your account? That's super important. And it takes step by step, right? I mean, in our world, it's full of like being able to Google and learn. There's YouTube University, but it's a matter of being able to manage our finances along with everything else. So what else comes to your mind when it comes to adulting besides trying to manage finances? I mean, I mean, I think of, marriage and being able to navigate relationships, being able to navigate parenting, being able to work and manage stress from things that are outside of work, or being able to manage things outside of work and manage the stress at work. So it's being a multitasker. Adulting requires being a multitasker. I mean, life before being an adult and adulting is just very streamlined. It's like, okay, I go to school and I come home. There's that drama at school, but it's just like, okay, you know. But it's a matter of being a good multitasker. And how do you do that? Making lists. Do you have a list? Do you have an agenda? Do you keep a schedule of things that you have to do? In different aspects of my life, that looked differently. In medical school, I kept an agenda and I literally listed what I had to do hour by hour by hour. People were just like, okay, you're so organized. But I just had to do that. I needed to know when I was at school and I needed to know when I was going to study. And I even worked in because Netflix, back then, Netflix, you were able to get the DVD in the mail. That's how Netflix worked. So anyway, I even put on my schedule, okay, this is Netflix. I get to watch TV. This is when I work out. I needed to do that. After graduating, that kind of fizzled out. I didn't have to do that. Maybe I should have in residency because residency was stressful. As usual, it just is. That's how it is. But it's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. It's the hard that makes it great. And that's what we have to tell ourselves no matter what we're doing. It isn't just, becoming a medical doctor that's hard. A lot of things are different, are hard, and we just got to push through and have those positive affirmations. So being a good multitasker, the time management, adulting requires time management. I'm just thinking, so I have a 1-year-old, 3-year-old, 13-year-old. And this school year is different because we have to get up a lot early. My kids, younger kids go to private school. And now that the 3-year-old is in the older, young school, he has to be in school by 8:15. I used to stroll in, on the days that I didn't have to be at work on time for myself. I used to stroll in, dropping him off at 9, sometimes close to 10. I'm like, you mean I got to get this boy at school at 8:15 like he's a fourth grader or something like that? You got to be kidding me. And so that means I got to take the baby to his school, which is on another side of the campus. And then also, now our 13-year-old, he's doing cross country, which is amazing. But of course, that means that we got to get him to practice 3 days a week by 7:15. I'm like, "Oh my goodness." And so I used to actually tease some of my friends who are parents and have their kids in sport, and they're always like prioritizing what the kids have to do. I'm like, "See, that's why my kid not in sports, that's why I don't have to." But now it's like, "Oh, we gotta get up early, we gotta drop them off." And it adulting, parenting is the largest thing is when it comes to adulting, because it does take that sacrifice. I did mention on the parenting podcast that parenting takes 100% patience, but it is 50% sacrifice. So yes, it takes some sacrifice, but not sacrificing all of you. So there's that balance, being able to be there for your parents, or for your children as a parent and for your dependents. I mean, maybe you do have a parent who's depending on you, but being able to be there and give yourself to a certain extent, but also taking care of yourself too. So that's why this Enjoyno is awesome because you are learning about your social health and how to do those things and also how to navigate goals and then also how to take care of yourself. There's a lot of different self-care tips in here, journal prompts and positive affirmations. So, yes, time management is key. And it's definitely good when you have a spouse, but definitely your adulting is like completely elevated when it's just you. And that time management is definitely key. So, having a record of, okay, I got to get up at this time, which means I got to go to bed at this time, and then sticking to that, getting your sleep. Because as soon as you're losing sleep, that's just your whole day. Your whole day is gone. You irritable, you susceptible to stress when you don't have enough sleep, and you yelling at everybody else, which makes them susceptible to stress because you yelling at them because you didn't get enough sleep, because you didn't practice your self-care. So it's just all goes in together. Being able to multitask, time management, and what else with adulting? It requires that sense of responsibility and taking that on. And At the same time, although it can be stressful to be an adult and do those adulting tasks, even if you in your 40s and 50s and you feel like you've been doing this for so long, it's also a sense of that fulfillment and empowerment to be able to do things for yourself and get it done and get a task done. I love check box therapy. That's when you keep a list, you write the things down that you have to do, and you put a little box in there and you check it off. Ah, it just feels good. Check box therapy. It may be something I've already completed, and I'll just write it down, put a check box just so I can check it off because it feels good. So, responsibility, being able to multitask, and time management. Those are three key areas of adulting, and always, always, always incorporating self-care is important. How do you get past that mess without stress of adulting? It can be so stressful. So you have to make sure you're caring for yourself, whether it's physically and mentally. What are those things that keep your joy, maintain your joy, whether it is getting a good sleep, eating healthy? Because sometimes what you eat makes you irritable, right? Sometimes not eating enough makes you irritable. So maybe you over there doing too much adulting to the point where you just don't have time to eat or you forget to eat. Many people have told me they're so busy that they forget to eat. I'm like, "So are you not hungry or are you hungry and you're just avoiding eating?" They're like, "No, I just, I'm just getting in the groove and I forget to eat." For me, I can't forget to eat. So I try my best to empathize with that, but I hear it a lot and I get it. I get it. But set a timer or something, put it down on your agenda. You have to eat. Plan ahead. Adulting takes proper planning with anything. You properly plan and take snacks with you, take healthy snacks. Let's say you're on a special diet because you're just doing this physical self-care and you're like, I'm gonna do without meat and I wanna eat healthy. And then you go to this happy hour, or you go to that party, or you go to that gala or whatever, and then they don't have the stuff that you're eating now. You vegetarian, all they have is meat, or you decide to go vegan and all they have is non-vegan stuff. Well, planning ahead means eating before you go. Don't expect that they're going to have what you want to eat there. Or depending on what kind of event it is, taking the food with you. I do that. But it's like informal stuff. So even at my child's pool party, we ordered pizza and I brought my healthy food. I know it's kind of like, well, why didn't I just bring healthy food for everybody? Hey, it's a pizza pool party, okay? You want healthy food, bring your own healthy food. So anyway, I brought my healthy food and I ate it. I could have ate it before I got there so that I wasn't just eating it in front of people and people just looking at my food like, why don't I have that food and why is she eating it and why is she serving me pizza? But that's okay. My positive affirmations tell me that I'm not worried about what they thought about that. I'm working on myself and my healthy food. And so I did that. So that's what you need to do for yourself. If you run into that. So proper planning is key. Proper planning, multitasking, time management, and accepting the responsibilities that you have. And if you don't know, I mean, you don't know what you don't know, learn it, figure it out, find out, get a therapist. There's life coaches, there's different people out there. And obviously, if you're to the point where you're not able to sleep, you are suffering from depression, so much anxiety where your worries are so much that you can't control or stop. Hallucinations, suicidal thoughts, always get into all of that because if things get so bad where you need professional help, seek professional help. Seek a therapist. Maybe you have to get on a medication. But there are most instances where if that's not happening, where it's just a matter of assuming the responsibility and doing the proper planning and learning for yourself so that you can be able to adult in the mess without stress. And there's always somebody else going through the same thing because there's a lot of us adults, but there's a lot of people successfully adulting, and there's a lot of people who are just not doing so well. So ask, get support, give support, and just be able to vent because we're all going through it. The way I get through it is the planning. I have to plan. There's certain times when I don't need to plan because uncertainty is what gives me joy, and then there's certain times where certainty gives me joy. Know and reflect and learn when that is for you, where certainty gives you joy or where uncertainty gives you joy and where you just planning too much. Because sometimes planning too much gives you too much anxiety. So that's why it's important to reflect and know yourself and be your authentic self. Sometimes adulting is difficult because you're trying to figure out your identity. You're trying to figure out your gender. You're trying to figure out your sexual orientation. You're trying to figure out your spirituality. You're trying to figure out the way you look. You're trying to figure out the kind of makeup you wear. You're trying to figure out what the kind of clothes you wear, the kind of shoes. You kind of figure out all these kinds of things. And so adulting is hard because of that as well. So sitting down with a therapist or sitting down with your enjoiner and trying to determine who you are and not faking or pretending or putting on a mask when you're not able to be your authentic self and who you are and around anyone, then it is hard to adult. But when you're able to be yourself and be genuine, be transparent, be honest, and be who you are no matter what the circumstances is, oh, yes, that just feels good. You can just adult all day. So that is adulting unfiltered, getting through the mess without stress. Thank you for listening. Next week is episode 60, and I am going to break down this inspire joy method. Look at all these beautiful colors. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Get your Enjoyno today on Amazon, 39.08. Thank you.